Johann Sebastian Bach and George Frederick Handel were born in the same year, 1685, just about 100 miles from each other in central Germany. They were both, of course, brilliant musicians, organists, composers, but their careers diverged widely. Handel, for example, made his career and his fortune primarily in London, writing Italian opera and later on English oratorio. Bach, on the other hand, stayed closer to home, working in some provincial capitals in Carrettin and Weimar, and later in Leipzig, where he would spend the last 27 years of his life as the cantor for the Thomaskirche, one of the main Lutheran churches in Leipzig. And even though Bach wrote more individual compositions than just about any composer who ever lived, he never wrote an opera. That is not to say, however, that he didn't have a great feel for how narrative and music work together, how music can be dramatically paced and how it can tell a story. His St. Matthew Passion of the late 1720s, for example, has a storyline, a narrative that is as compelling, as emotionally rich, as involving as anything ever put on an operatic stage. And yet, it was presented, first of all, in the context of essentially a worship service, presented in Thomaskirche, in the church.
We know that Bach never had the luxury of an opera position as Handel did in London, for example. But that isn't to say that Bach wouldn't have enjoyed writing opera. And there are certainly operatic elements, leitmotifs, and programmatic elements, even in his sacred masterpieces, which tell us something.
What we are going to do in Boulder and Denver in April is present a theatricized version of the St. Matthew Passion. It represents a coming together of 4 outstanding organizations: the Boulder Philharmonic, the Boulder Bach Festival, the College of Music at the University of Colorado, and Central City Opera. Each of those organizations bringing their own expertise and their own contributions to something that will be, I think, a very, very exciting production for our communities. The St. Matthew Passion of Johann Sebastian Bach is, I think it's fair to say, one of the pinnacle achievements of Western civilization. On the first hand, we have music of incredible complexity, fantastic structure that is really awesome in the truest sense of the word, and yet all of that undergirding is in service of the message of the piece, the emotional content, and how it communicates from the creator, Bach, to the listener. And all of this is, I think, going to be even more impactful through the theatricized version of this piece that we're presenting for you twice coming up in Boulder and in Denver.
Every live performance should have elements that cause us as audience members to reflect and also to form opinions. The opinions hopefully are well thought. Controversy is a great thing, because if there's an element that is shocking, the first thing as an audience member, we think, well, why? Why did the director, why did the conductor, why did they do that? And sometimes the answers are fascinating. So I love what you have prepared here, and the possibilities and the questions that are arising. After 25 years of performing in the early music world on period instruments of the Baroque, I think more and more that the question we should be asking ourselves is, am I being authentic? Am I being true to myself? What is it that I think? What is it that I feel? And it can have a variety of influences and sources and inspirations, some scholarly and others can be from a place of pure imagination. But if we are being true to ourselves, we create a compelling performance that gives the audience an experience that they deserve.
Absolutely. I think if the motivation for any of these artistic choices is a desire to make this music live and make it connect with people, then that to me is authenticity. It's being authentic. So I hope you'll join us April 23rd, Saturday, 7:00 p.m., a little earlier start, at Macky Auditorium. And then the next afternoon, April 24th, Sunday, at 2:00 p.m., Central Presbyterian Church in downtown Denver. It represents the coming together of the Boulder Philharmonic, the Boulder Bach Festival, the College of Music at CU, and Central City Opera. Something not to be missed, and we'll look forward to seeing you there.